A very good morning to all the students of class 9. Today we are going to study Social Science chapter 4 National Movements in India. See, national movements in India were early popular movement that was seeking the independence of India from the British rule. Now let us begin with the chapter. Chapter 4 National Movements in India. See, first we will discuss about the introduction of the chapter. During their stay in India, during the stay of Britishers in India, the Britishers they became familiar with the political condition of India. See, they became familiar with all our political conditions. And the British East India Company, they took the advantages of the political disputes. They made a political disputes and in the internal weakness of India, and from 1757 AD, after creeping into Bengal, after extending their power in Bengal to uprising of 1857 AD, and it established its supremacy over India and in its 100 years of rule. See, in the 100 of years of rule, they started establishing their supremacy over India. And in order to maintain this supremacy, to maintain this, what the English people did, they gradually develop a strong administrative structure in the country. And through these administrative structures, common laws, common administration, and the legal system was there that was according to all the British system rather than to Indian, and everything was being changed and the British system that came into existence. And yet the English residencing in India that established such laws and administration that England would get more benefits. See, they started trade with India, and in that way they earned more benefits and rather than the Indians were getting. And all the cost of India they made England prosperous. See, with the cost of all the Indias what was earning they, and they made indirectly England very prosperous, and they started exploiting India the most. The people of Indian were being exploited during this time. Now let us see the first one, the Great National Uprising of 1857. See, uprising means what? That was an act of resistance, or it was a revolt in the year 1857. See what has been written in this. Some factors that caused the uprising of 1857 were political dissatisfaction, economic exploitation, social and religious factors, military factor, and immediate reasons like inductions of annual refines in the army. See, the revolt which was of 1857, that was the first revolt that raised by Indians to drive away the British from India. And the factors that caused this revolt were including political dissatisfaction, economic exploitation, social and religious factors, and military reason also were based. See, and the revolt, that immediate cause, what was the immediate cause was to forcing Indians to use newly introduced anvil rifle, whose cartridge was made out of beef and pork meat. See, it was made out of beef and pork meat cartridge. And see, Indians they had to tear the cartridge with mouth. We see they have to tear with the mouth, and putting the meat in the mouth was against the religion. See, putting this meat in the mouth to open that cartridge was against the religion of Indians. So Mangal Pandey was the first to oppose the use of this cartridge. See, Mangal Pandey did not want to use this cartridge, and he was the first to oppose this use of this cartridge, and then the first martyr of the revolt of 1857, and then he was the first martyr, and he was being recognized as a first martyr, means a person who is killed because of their beliefs and religion. And several prominent Indians like Nana Sahib, Tatya Tope, Raja Kuvar Singh, Rani Lakshmi Bai, Bahadur Shah Jafar, etc., they all took part in the revolt. And though the revolt failed, it brought about several changes in India. See, the changes that in the administrative, military, social, and religious policy, all the changes came in that, and end of British crown, and at last end of British rule in India in the year 1947 were among the various effects of this revolt. See, all these were the effects of this revolt. And what was the reason for the failure of the revolt was, see, the reason which was the revolt failed was, the main reasons were start of revolt before the planned time. See, it was being started before the planned time. Lack of central leadership was there in it. Insufficient and obsolete weapons were there, and importance given to personal interest was given rather than the national interest by many revolutionaries. And the other reason was that was lack of suitable and organized leadership, etc. All these were the causes of failure of the revolt. See, the now we will see is the we what we read was the great national uprising of the year 1857, and now moving to the next, that is the boycott and indigenous movement. See, indigenous means occurring naturally in the particular place. And let us read that what is written over here in the boycott indigenous movement. I'll explain you. Boycott of foreign goods, Swadeshi movement was Bang Bang, that is a break Bengal movement. See, Bang Bang is known as a break Bengal movement, which was in the year of 1905. And cunning policies was of the British, such as the divide and rule policy, that was played an important role in awakening the whole India to fight for freedom. And during the British rule, the Bengal was a large prominent province was there, and it included present day Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. And compared to other part of India, when we compare to other part of India, national awakening was rising rapidly in Bengal. And to break the Hindu-Muslim unity of Bengal, see, where Hindu Muslim unity which was there in the Bengal, to break it, and the national awakening was being done by Viceroy Cursor on 16th October 1905, divided the Bengal into East Bengal and West Bengal. See, he divided Bengal into East Bengal and West Bengal. And he divided Bengal giving a false reason. See, how he divided it, by giving a false reasons of improving administration. And the people, they opposed this division strongly, and the whole Bengal, they observed what national mourning day. And to the further oppose this division, see, to further we was opposing this division, on the very same day it was announced to boycott all the foreign goods. See, on that day only it was being announced to boycott all the foreign goods, and they have to use the Swadeshi, that is indigenous or Indian made good. Swadeshi means the goods that were made in India. And Hindu, Muslim, they tied Rakhi to each other in the entire Bengal to express their unity and brotherhood. So to express their unity and brotherhood, Hindu and Muslim people, they tied Rakhis to each other. See, entire India, they firmly what they believed, that this division was done to break the feeling of nationalism by catching up strongly in entire India. And what was the reason for the Bang Bang movement had three major aspects. What were they? See, adaptation of Swadeshi good was there, boycott of foreign goods, and adoptions of national education was also the major aspect of it. And when we see the effect of this movement, see what were the effects of the movement, or since the people, they started buying Swadeshi goods from Indians, the people's economic condition has improved. See, by buying and purchasing the Swadeshi goods, by buying it, and that Indians people, they got high in their economic condition, and that was improved. On the other hand, we see that English industry, they badly suffered it, because why, their goods was not being sold, and they suffered due to the boycott of their goods. And the impact of English goods such as the cloth from Manchester's, sugar, shoes, cigarettes, tobacco, etc. either stopped or reduced drastically. See, all these goods, they were stopped, and it was also been reduced. So the British incurred high losses, and in this way the British people, they incurred loss because their goods were not being sold in India because it was being boycotted. And Indians also started practice for producing Swadeshi goods, and they started factories which were producing Swadeshi goods. And the effect of the movement of Bengal got spread to several parts like Punjab. It got spread Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Madras, Gujarat, etc. And it was spreading. In what was the effect of Bengal movement? It got spread various part of India, which were the Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab, etc. And the effect could be very well seen in the British Parliament. See, we can see the effect of this where in the British Parliament too also. And owing to a huge losses, there was increase in nationalism and constant pressure. The British finally they cancelled the decision of partition of Bengal within 6 years, that is in 1911. See, the British, they, because of having a loss in their commodities, goods were not being sold, and there was increase in nationalism and constant there was a pressure, and the British, they finally they cancelled the decision of partition of Bengal within 6 years only, and which was in the year 1911. And thus the Bang Bang and Swadeshi movement that gave a huge victory to India. See, by this movement, the India got a huge victory, and they awakened the whole India to fight against the British rule. See, in this divisions of Bengal, that was carved away by rethinking of parliament, and this was a memorable victory of India, and India became united efforts, and that was a noteworthy victory of new awakening against the English rule. I hope you all have understood till here. In the next video, we'll move ahead.